To all of you, welcome to the video number 503. My name is Ajay Parmar and you're watching youtube.com/c/Ajay Kumar Parmar, which is my channel's name. And in this video today I'm going to talk about that how you can create a dashboard using the Excel user forms. Of course, when we talk about the user forms, we refer to the VBA, right, as you can see on the screen also. So in this particular case, I'm going to tell you that how you can design the form where you will give the option to the users in the form of option buttons, and by selecting those options which says Excel files or text files, and basis their selection, your files will pop up in that combo box, under that combo box, from any specific folder, be it your desktop desktop folder or D drive, F drive, E drive, whatever it is, right? So I'm gonna give you a quick look first of all, and then I'll just walk you through this little demonstration. So let us first of all see that what basically we are going to talk about today in this video. Now, as you can see here, this is the button which I have created. When you click on this button, what happens if I just click here, you see this is totally empty. Now this is called the combo box, right? Now first of all, before I run this, I want to just clear this, that this is not the basic level video. This is not the intermediate level video. For you to understand this video in a perfect manner, you got to be good in the user forms. You should know that how to create the option buttons, how to create the combo boxes, and also how to deal with the file handling system object, the libraries, right? I'm referring to the scripting library, right? Now if you do not know about these right now, as you're seeing here on your this screen, that these are the basically two playlists which you must watch, Excel VBA user forms and Excel VBA file handling. Because I have talked about all these basics, basics about how to pull out the files from the folders, how to open the files from the folders, and how to create the user forms, how to create the combo box in the user form, how to create the command button, option buttons. Guys, there are so many things which we had talked about this, about the user forms. So please go and visit all these the two playlists. But in this video, I'm quickly going to show you what is going to happen. So if I just click here on the Excel files, you see what happens when I click on this and I just go here. You see that all my Excel files are coming right now. These are all my Excel files which are actually available in my D drive. As you can see here in my D drive, I have created these A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, all these files. And similarly, you can see that here 3 text files I have created. So if I just go back and click on the text file, right, and I click here again, this is very important, you have to click here, and then you click here, you see that all the Excel files are gone, right? So this is something which we are going to learn today, right? So you can fully handle this user form. You can give the options to the user that what files they want to what files they want to see in that folder. It can be any folder. You can customize the things. So let us talk about this particular thing. So as I said, I'll just walk you through. Let me just take you 1 minute. So first of all, what we're going to do, let us prepare the roadmap for this, guys. So first of all, we will create the user form in the VBA, and we are going to use this combo box, right? This is the same combo box which when I was clicking there, you were able to see the files. Now once you have created that combo box, what is the next thing we want to do? Well, the next thing we want to do is we are going to create these Excel file and text files also, but right now in this click option, we are going to create an event. Okay, there is a click event in the user forms. So that means when the user is going to click on this button, which has a click on it, what should happen, there has to be some macro. You can see the glimpses of this macro. I'm just going to explain that. So this macro is going to run and it is going to display the text files or the Excel files. Let's say if the text file option button is selected, then we will have the text files. So then we will also create the option boxes. Basically these option boxes we are going to create, and we will put basically the 2 codes there, one for the Excel file and one for the text file. If I select the text file code should run. If I select the text file Excel file, then the Excel file code should run with a minor difference, right? So basically these are the things which we are supposed to do. And of course, there is one more thing, because to run these two macros based on what the user is going to select, we're going to use the Microsoft scripting runtime library, right? So this you can activate from the tools and the reference. Because we need to work under the folders, we will be using this class. This class is called the file system object also, right? Followed by the scripting.file system object. And this I already said that if you don't have any idea about it, if you're just a beginner, or if you do not know anything about it, then go and watch the Excel VBA playlist called Excel VBA file handling, right? So now let's talk about this user form, guys. I go to the Visual Basic. I'll show you. This is the entire code. You can see it's a very small code actually. This text file, it's just a copy paste of this Excel files subroutine, right? But I will start from the scratch as always. So the first thing which you need to do is you need to draw this kind of a user form. So what I've done is, this is a combo box, right? You just need to draw like this. You go to the view toolbox, you can see my Excel VBA user forms playlist, and you can learn how to draw the combo box. So this is basically the combo box, and this is how you can draw it. You know, this is how I have drawn it. I have actually drawn it. So let me just delete that. And similarly, you have to create these two option buttons, which you can create from here, right? So when you create the option buttons, so let me just show you, if you're wondering that how I got to see the Excel files and text files. So these are the very basics, but still I'll explain you. So when you draw this, you go to the F4, press F4, or go to the properties of this control option button, and here just write in the caption whatever you want to write. So let's say if I write Excel, and you just click outside, close it, you see that in this option I have now Excel coming, right? So this is how, first of all, you need to set up your this user form, and you go in the insert and click on the user form. That's how the user form comes. And so we have here one button, which is the command button. This is the combo button, combo box actually, I beg your pardon. These are the two option buttons. Now what we are supposed to do here is, now in the module I have simply written one macro, which is the user form name dot show, right? And this basically the macro we have connected here in this button. So create this button and right click here and say that assign macro, and you see that this is the macro, show my form, right? And so when I click here, what happens? The form comes. This is the first part, right? Now what we want to do is, if I select this Excel file and I click here, I should be able to see these Excel files, as you can see. So what is happening in this click button, we have created an event which I was talking about initially. When you click here, double click here, you see that this is your private subroutine submit underscore click. Now this button, why it is coming submit? Obviously because I have created this, I have named this as submit. If I just select this button and I press F4, you see that this is the name which is coming, right? So I talked about all this in my basic videos, you can refer to that. So now what we are going to do here is, now this is very interesting. Now what happens, I'll explain you every line one by one. First of all, you need to choose the click event from here, so that whenever this button gets clicked, this macro should run. I'll put the breakcode here, I'll explain you. For example, I click here and I click this button, you see this macro is going to fire, right? Now the first thing which you need to do is that whenever this button gets clicked, we want to ensure that this combo box should be empty. There should nothing be coming in this combo box, this one, right? So this is going to be clean, and I'm using here two variables, I as long and total items as long. Now I'm also using the on error zoom next, just in case if any error comes while removing these items, it should actually not stop, right? So what is the why we are actually doing all this stuff, I'll show you. Now you see, first of all, we will just go and we will just talk about this particular portion. Let me just comment this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, this line. Okay, now the first time when I run this, obviously when this form gets initialized, this is always going to be blank, right? And as you can see here, this is totally blank. Now what is going to happen in the next when you click on this Excel files, let's say when you click here, the first thing which this button is going to do, it is going to make my combo box clear, which is already clear, so it's not going to make any difference. Now here we are asking the question. So by the way, this Excel file option button, I have named it as OPT Excel. and this text file button, I named it as opt text, right, by going to the properties window. So now we are saying that if this Excel value is selected, which means if it is true, then you should run the macro called Excel files. Now as you can see here, this is coming true, so obviously this will go in the then part, and from here now I'm going to run the Excel files macro, which exactly looks like the text file, carbon copy of text file macro. This is here. I'll show you if I drag it down, right? The only difference is in the condition. I'll just let you know about that. And just in case if the Excel file is not there, then it will go in the else if, and it is going to run the text file. And if none of the options are selected, then it will simply go in the else mode, and it is going to say that you did not select any option. So right now guys, this is going to work in the Excel files. Now in the Excel files, what we are doing is we are basically using the file system object library, and to do that you need to make sure when you're writing this code, you should go to the tools and the reference, and your scripting runtime library should be activated, which I was showing you previously, right? Otherwise you will not be able to use this scripting.file system object library, right? I can show you. Let me reset the code because I have to cancel the code. Tool reference, go to the reference and make sure this Microsoft scripting runtime should be check marked, right? So this is very important. This helps us in finding out the files under the folders. This is basically made for this purpose only. If you go to the object browser and if you just write here scripting runtime, if you just go and write this scripting runtime file system object library, file system object, you write and you press enter, you get to see here a lot of things. You see that these are all the members of file system object library: build path, copy file, copy folder, create text file. I have talked about all this in my Excel VBA file handling playlist, guys. You must watch it because it's very important from the programming perspective. If you want to be a good programmer, you must know how to create the files, how to create the files under the folder, how to move the files from one folder to the another folder, how to save the files under the folder, how to import them in the Excel, how to get them opened one by one from any folder, and how to save as them in any other folder. There are so many things, how to rename the files under the folder. So this is something which is there. So that's why it's very important for us. We should be using this file system object library, right? So let me just run this again, and I click on the Excel file and I just click here, click, and now we go. So as you know that because opt Excel is selected, so we go in this. Now here I'm just using the scripting file system object. So these two lines, dim FSO, set FSO equals to new file system object. This is going to create this FSO as the file system object. This is going to be considered as file system object library, right? So why we are doing that? Because directly we can't use the file system object. You have to declare some variable. I'm using FSO. You can declare IJK, whatever you want to, right? Now there is another reason why we are doing this, because as I was talking about, you can create the folders, you can move the folders. Similarly, FSO also gives us one of the methods, which is .get folder. If you just write FSO and .get folder, this is what you see, get folder. So if you have to tell the VBA that under which folder you want to loop through all those files, you want to check all those files, so naturally you have to define the folder, and this is how we can define the folder, right? So FSO.get folder, and then you need to write the path. I have written here D drive. If you want to write something else, you can write, right? So once this is done, then we are just going to use the loop, which is for each file in folder.files. This is called the collection loop. You can also learn more about the collection loops by going to one of my playlists, Excel VBA collection loops. You will find there, I think, more than 10 videos. Just watch them in the proper sequence, the sequence which is mentioned there. Collection loops are they are great loops, right? So basically what happens, they allow you to retrieve the object falling under the same category again and again. For example, I'll give you some of the collection loops. If you have to work with the multiple worksheets, then there is a loop called for each worksheet in worksheets. If you have to work with the open workbooks, there are 10 workbooks open and you want to go to every workbook one by one, then there is a collection loop for each workbook in workbooks. Similarly, there is a loop to work with the charts. for each chart object in chart objects, there's a collection loop for the pivots for each pivot table in pivot tables, so there are a number of things, guys. So similarly, this is the loop which says that, because I have declared my fs scripting file, so it clearly says that for each file in folder.files, right? So what is going to happen in this D drive, it is going to loop through all these files. I'm not talking about the folders. This is for each file, which means this file, this file, this file, this file, this file, irrespective of the extension. So we are saying that if that file name, as you can see here, that is the first file you can see in my D drive, right? a.xlsx. So I'm saying that if any file contains the word, that's why I'm using the like star and then joining it with the and sign, ampersand sign, dot xls, putting in the double quotes, and then again joining it with the star. So basically it says that before, after, anything can come, but dot xls should contain. So if the file contains that thing, then what should happen? It should actually add the item in the combo box, right? Which combo box? Well, this is the combo box. So in this combo box, dot add item is the method. This is a VBA syntax. Now what it is supposed to add, that is important thing. So obviously we want to add that file name, because if it contains dot xls, then that means it has to be the Excel file. So Excel file, even if you have a macro enabled file, that will be coming here in this then mode, right? Because I'm saying dot xls, afterwards I'm using the star. Star means any character can come. So dot xls, dot xlsm, all are going to come in this. So guys, as you can see, this file name is going to be inserted in the combo box. If I just click on this and if I show you, you see that fantastic, this has started coming, this has started getting added. Now do we have another file? Obviously we have, I think, 5-6 files. So now this is the png, you can see the extension. So png, obviously this doesn't contain .xls, so we will go in the else mode, and then we have the b.xls. Obviously this is the Excel file. So now this file is going to be added. f.name, f is what? Remember, f is my file, right? So once I run this, this is how you see that you're getting here b.xls. So this process keeps on going until you are through with all the files. So this is how it is going to work, and look at this. So finally the macro finishes. Now this combo box shows A, B, C, D, E, all my Excel files. Now the interesting part comes here. Now guys, what happens when you click on the text file and you click here? See what is going to happen. Now the combo box is going to clear, which means that if anything comes in front of this combo box, right now it is blank, so definitely it is not going to show you anything. But just in case, if I select something and then I click on the text file, then that is going to be removed first, right? So now we will go, and now obviously the another option button, which is the text value, is selected. You can see here. So this time it is going to run the text file. Now this is my second macro. Okay, same macro, guys. The only difference is that I have written here within the these stars, these are joined by .txt, because text file always contains the .txt. If it doesn't contain .txt, it cannot be text file, right? So in the previous my example, this is what we had written .xls. So now what is going to happen? Now the thing is, if it is a text file, so what is the first text file? It was a.xls, so it didn't get added. And then now the next is .png, it didn't get added. And then we have b.xls, again else, and then again else, and then let us see, now again we have the Excel file, so this is going to be, and now we have the data.txt. Now it goes here, as you can see here. So now this is going to be added. Look at this, data.txt is going to be again added in the combo box 1. By the way, combo box 1 is obviously my combo name, right? That button name. So I go here, not the button, I beg your pardon, it's actually the control. So it is added. Now next time again, let me just quickly run this. So what is now is going to be added? The second text file, and then again this is going to be added, program.txt, and I think we are done, right? Simple. So the macro finishes. Now the macro finishes, that's you may be thinking that it is done, but guys, there is a problem. If you look at this now, you see that the previous files are also coming. And this is where the challenge is, because you know what happens when you click on the Excel files, what happens, the Excel files comes, right? But when you click on the text file, because we already have got the text files, first of all it should clear those Excel files from the combo box and then should add the another text files, right? So this is something very important, and that is the reason basically I use that, you know, the macro, these lines of the codes. You know what they are doing, they are removing the previous content just in case if there is any change happens in the option button. So let me just quickly remove these all, let me uncomment them. So I click here, let me reset the macro first of all, and let's go here and I just go and remove this. Okay, now you need to understand this code because this is very important code. Now when the first time when the code runs, obviously this is going to completely be, you know, blank, and you do not need any removal, right? Because the first time when it opens, so it may give you the error, this line may give you the error because it is not going to find anything to remove. Okay, it is not going to find anything to remove. Look at this code here, I'm using dot remove item. In the previous code we were using the dot add item. Dot add item method is to add and dot remove is to remove, as simple as that. So that is why I have used the on error resume next, because on error resume next never stops the code. Now this you use only when you are 100% sure that you will expect the you are expecting the error and you know it is of no use, so you just want to run your code, you just want to bypass it. Okay, so use it wisely, and if you don't have any idea you can go and watch the Excel VBA introduction series, and I talked about this, all the errors there, right? So now what is going to happen, so when I click here, I select the option button, let me click here, you get to see all the Excel files. Now we have here 1 2 3 4 5 Excel files. Now how do we come to know that there are how many files here? Because your folder can have 20 files, 15 files, tomorrow they may be 30 files, right? So what I have done is, the moment you change this option button to text file and you click here, to remove first those Excel files from here, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to, you know, say that dim I as long and dim total item as long. So this is what actually I'm going to do. These are the two variables I'm declaring. Now on error resume next, simply make sure that, you know, everything is going to be run. Now this total item is a variable, and to see that how many times I have to run the loop, because every time I run the loop I have to remove these items, I'm simply using the dot list count property, which tells me that how many items I have got in this combo box. You can see here 5, and there were 5 Excel files. So this 5 minus 1, I'm subtracting minus 1 from it, because when you click here, this file actually has the index called 0. This starts with the 0. So basically if I say 5, that means 0 1 2 3 4 5, it is going to run 6 times, so I have to run it, you know, only 5 times. So if I have 5, I have to subtract minus 1 from it, so that it should be 0 1 2 3 4, right? So now what is going to happen, so we are subtracting minus 1 from it, and now the total item goes as 4. Now you are supposed to run this for I equals to 0 to 4. So 4 times this is going to run, and now when it is going to run, me.combobox1, me refers to the user form obviously, and then dot remove item is a method. Now what do you want to remove? I want to remove the 0 index. So the 0 index going to be removed. Right now you can see that I've got a dot xlsx which is on the 0 index. So if I run this, let's see what's going to happen. So this line is, you know, run. Look at this, guys, a file is removed because that was on the 0 index, right? It is removed, it is deleted. Now again I have to make sure that this total item should not run 4 times, because if you're going to run it 4 times, that means 0 1 2 3 4 5 times, but right now one item is already removed. So now we have to recount the entire set, you know, the combo box list count. So now it says 4, so let me just run this total item as 4. Now the total item is 4. Now the next time when the I is going to run, you know, the I is going to run this first time, because we just ran it, you know, the 0th time it just ran, and now it is going to run the first time. The first time when it is going to run, it is again going to remove the 0 index. Now what is the 0 index, guys? 0 index is now b.xlsx. okay, so as the items getting removed, you will have the 0 index coming, a new index. a zero index for the new item. So this is going to remove. Let me check that. So you see that B is also removed. Now we have just got 3 items. Okay, now this total item, which was, now right now it shows as 3 because obviously this line is run. Total item equals to, this line has run, total items equals to combo box list count. So this is the fresh count. So if I just go and run this again, now I is going to run the second time 0 1 2. So actually it is running third time. Right now again we're going to remove the 0 index. So now what is the 0 index in this list of 3 items? It's actually C, 0 1 and 2. So when I run this line, you see that it should be removed. Look at this, C is removed. Right now let me take you back to this. Now guys, you know that total item is 3, right? So total item is 3, but your loop should not run 3 times because you are left only with the 2 items, isn't it? So that is why we are refreshing it. So this total item now, when I'm going to run this line, this will set this 3 from 3 to 2 because now we are left with only the 2 items. Okay, so now you see total item is 2, and now I is supposed to run, what is the next value in the the next value of the I is actually 3. Okay, so that means it is supposed to run 3 times. So now it is going to run, and now this 0 item should have been removed from here. You can see that it is actually removed from here. Now the last time when this is going to run, the total item is left with 1. Okay, so I again go here. Now what is the value in the I? You see that I is now reaching to the 4th number because initially when you ran this total item as 4, the total item was coming as 5, and 5 minus 1 makes it 4. So basically you have to, this loop is going to run 0 to 4 times. So that is why I is now on the 4th time, the last time it is running. And since we have just got 1 item, so this is going to be removed here. So this is how it is going to be removed. Total item is going to be 0 and the loop finishes. Right, so total item, I'm not sure if this line is really required. We can delete that, but let us first of all go ahead now and see that. So what is going to happen? So your text file is activated, so naturally your text value is going to be true, and this is going to call the text file. And after the text file, you know how it is going to happen. Now this time for my every text file, this is what it says, that if any file name contains .txt, we should add the item. So here we are using the .add item. So you can see here, let me just run this quickly. So here we are going to add this data.txt, and now we're going to add another file, education.txt, and so on. So once we are done with that, now we will not be able to see any Excel file, guys. So this is how it works. And I just thought of one thing, that maybe I think you can do one thing in this. Maybe this line is not required. You can just comment this line, right? Because there is no purpose of refreshing this. I think this is fine. Let me just see that. So right now it is totally empty. I click on the Excel file and I click on this, and let me just remove the breakcode from here, F5, and you see we have got all that text Excel files. And now click on the text file, I click here, and now let me see that. Yes, so as expected, that line is not required. So this is great, guys. Now if I just go and click on the Excel file, you know what will happen? All the text files will be deleted. Let me click here. Okay, you see that everything's gone, and we have the text files, Excel files back, right? So this is how you can keep on clicking on these, and make sure you click on this submit button, which is a click button, and you will have your data refreshed. Right, so this is a very useful user form. This can make your dashboards pretty awesome because you're going to actually give a lot of control to your user. They can pull out all the files. Now after displaying obviously these text files or Excel files in the combo box, the next job for you is to get them open, and then data has to be compiled from there, or maybe you can rename them, maybe you can move them. That entirely depends upon the requirement, but this is how your code is, right? So this is the first part, guys, right? And then this is the second part, right? You can pause the video and you can just note it down. So this sub text file and this sub Excel file, both the macros are same. Just make sure that when you use the Excel file, you're going to use .xlsx, and that's it. I can show you here, right? This is the one, right? That's it for now, and I hope you have enjoyed this. This video was not just for the user form, but this also talked about some of the fantastic methods which you can use with these, the loops actually, which you can use with these the combo boxes, how to remove the things and how to add the things. So I'll see you soon in my next video, and until then, you must go through all my rest of the 500 videos and enjoy the show, and let me know if anything is not, you're not able to build and something is bothering you. I would be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye bye.